One of the most common questions I get asked from fellow videographers is, what are some simple things I can do right now that can improve the videos I'm currently making? And so today I want to talk about 3 things that are essential to my workflow that I honestly cannot live without. They're that important to me. The first one is going to be gear related. The second is going to be my thought process behind making videos. And the third is an instrument that I use online to enhance the editing process in Premiere Pro or any other editing software. So the first one I want to talk about is gear related. This is a piece of gear that I didn't purchase for several years after getting into videography because I had no idea that it existed. And once I bought it, it changed everything. In the sense of the way I wanted my videos to look, this brought that distinct look, and it is a variable ND filter. Back in 2019 and 2020, I craved the bokeh. If you don't know what bokeh is, it's the blurriness behind the subject. So if you want a crisp looking video where everything behind the subject is blurred, you need to crank up the aperture in your lens. And what does that have to do with this? So a variable ND filter basically restricts the amount of light that's coming into your lens. And so if you're filming in broad daylight and you want to crank up your aperture so that the subject is in focus but everything behind it is blurry, you need something to restrict the amount of light coming in so it's not white, it's not overly exposed. And what's cool about a variable ND filter is here, you can see my face right now. Watch this. Boom, now you can't see my face. So it's 2 pieces of glass that spin freely and you can pinpoint it exactly where you need it in order to have the perfect lighting, and you can keep your aperture open all the way 24/7, day and night. It's amazing. And now I want to give you another tip. When you are purchasing an ND filter or a variable ND filter, my recommendation would be to buy one that is bigger than the diameter of the lens that you shoot on right now. And why? That wouldn't even fit your lens, but why am I recommending this? So if you purchase a lens in the future and it has a bigger diameter, you would have to buy a new ND filter. And that's like another $100 to $300. And that's a lot of money. So one thing that you can do, and it's a very simple fix, is you buy a step-up ring. So this ND filter is actually way too big to fit onto my camera lens that I'm shooting on right now. And so this is like, I don't know, $3 or $4 on Amazon. And basically it screws into this step-up ring, and then the step-up ring then screws onto the camera lens. And so if I buy a lens that has a bigger diameter, I'm already set. And even if this one's 82 millimeters, and say I buy a lens that's 80 millimeters, then I just buy another step-up ring instead of purchasing a new ND filter. So that is one trick that I would say to definitely do when purchasing an ND filter. So the second thing I would recommend to videographers that are wanting to enhance their videos is to tell a compelling story, to follow a guideline that will help you do so. I follow a very simple 3-step guideline that helps me make wedding videos or business videos and also these YouTube videos. What is the 3 steps? Very simple, and they're gonna sound pretty familiar. The first one is once upon a time, the second is suddenly, and the third is happily ever after. So the once upon a time, you give some background information and you tell why you started in the first place. But you go through this story, the part that's really going to grab people, yes, the hook is very important, but what's going to keep the audience engaged the entire 5-minute video or whatever you're making is the suddenly part. This is the abrupt part that the audience did not expect. The abrupt trial that you faced in your life or in a business, the abrupt confliction that they had when they were creating this product. Maybe it was COVID, or they ran out of money, or they were getting shot down by all their investors, whatever it might be. And people are gonna be like, so you're telling me Apple had a hard time creating their business? Like they haven't been this multi-billion-dollar company forever? And when you give that information of the hard trial, the hard experience that this business or this individual went through, it's going to be relatable. So you give background information with the once upon a time. The suddenly, it gives you relatable information in the sense of this person has gone through hard things, but they are about to overcome it. and that is the happily ever after. You show the outcome of pushing through the hard trial or experience you were going through. This is something that is so simple, but if you can do and you can master, it will enhance literally every single video you will make. I promise, if you take the time to think about once upon a time, suddenly, and happily ever after, your creativity will go out of this world, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, that was the best video I've ever made. Holy crap, I want to keep applying this. And yeah, it's so simple, but it works. The third piece of advice I want to give to videographers to enhance their videos is to choose a freaking good song. Holy crap, I can't tell you how many times I've been scrolling on social media and I see this video of like this calm, peaceful sunset, and they're like walking through this field, and there's some like crazy freaking techno music playing in the background, and I'm like, that doesn't even fit. Like, what in the world? Like, get a peaceful song or like a very calming song for the video, because it will match so much better. And this can be very hard to find a good song. And today I want to talk about how I find my songs, and that is through an app and a website called MusicBed. If you follow any other fellow videographers on YouTube especially, it is a very common website that a lot of videographers use because it is really the best. There's like Epidemic Sound, and there's also, I believe it's called Artlist, of like these royalty-free music websites. But what's so cool about MusicBed is MusicBed gets actual artists that you can find on Spotify and Apple Music, and you get the rights to their songs, and you can use them in your videos depending on the subscription that you buy. And it has changed the game for me, because back in the day I would just, this is kind of bad, but I would kind of just download it off of YouTube, and then when I would post it on YouTube, it would get flagged and I couldn't monetize. And also when you post it on like Instagram, it tells you like you don't have the authority to post this, and it takes your video down. But what's cool, that will never happen if you have a subscription on MusicBed. So highly recommend using MusicBed. This video is not sponsored by MusicBed. It is not sponsored by the manufacturer of my variable ND filter. These are genuinely things I use every time I make a video. And if you apply them, it will help so much. How do I know that? Because I have not only seen it in my workflow and how it's improved my videos, but also fellow friends that I have gotten into videography. They buy an ND filter, it changes the game. And if you're wanting to enhance your storytelling, to engage the audience in your video, once upon a time, suddenly, and happily ever after will do just that. And lastly, find some good music. Oh my gosh, there's nothing that's more irritating to me than watching a video when the audio doesn't match up with the video. So please, if you want to tie the knot and have the most beautiful video, go find a good song. And what's cool about MusicBed is you can literally look up lyrics that match what's going on in your video. If you're in the mountains, you type in mountains and you can find songs that talk about the mountains, and you can listen to all of them and find one that is peaceful. Or if you're in the mountains riding a dirt bike and you need something that's a little more crazy, you can do just that. But music to me is almost more important than the actual video. For instance, let me give you an example. When you're on a Zoom call or a video call with someone and the audio cuts out, but you still got HD video of the person talking, are you like, what in the world? I can't hear them. Like, what's going on? What's going on? And you're kind of freaking out because you can't hear what's going on, because that's the most important part. But if the video cut out and you could still hear the person talking, you probably wouldn't make a big fuss about it because you know what's going on. And it's the same thing with video. If you want the audience to really be engaged, it has to have a good song. Even if the video, let's say your camera doesn't give the clearest video, or the lighting is really bad. Obviously you want both of them to mesh up good. You want good video and good audio, but I promise good audio will always be superior to good video. Thank you guys so much for watching. These are 3 simple things that I literally apply every time I make a video, and I really hope you found it beneficial in any way. Whether you apply only one of them or all 3 of them, it's going to enhance your videos. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.